Dear friends, as all of you are aware, Sanskrit is one of the richest language wherein the treasure of Veda, the very advanced principles of science and technology, is immensely enshrined. In this video, we are going to see four things. Number one, is NASA going to use Sanskrit for their artificial intelligence program or space research? 2. What is the opinion of top business people around the world about artificial intelligence and the scope of it in the future? 3. The relationship between Sanskrit and computer programming. And finally, number 4, after teaching yoga to the world, it is time for us to lead the world by exploring the possibilities of using Sanskrit language, more specifically Panini's grammar in Sanskrit, for machine learning, artificial intelligence, data science, astronomy, and mathematics, etc.
Panini's Sanskrit grammar is the shortest and the world's fullest grammar. This grammar, which was composed by Panini, is known as Ashtadhyayi.
Recently, there is a news in circulation among the tech science groups. It is NASA has discovered Sanskrit is the most suitable language to develop computer programming for their artificial intelligence program.
Google, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft are all moving ahead at a great speed in improving this artificial intelligence software. So it's very exciting. Software is going to solve that, where it'll look at all the new information and present to you, knowing about your interests, what would be most valuable. So making us more efficient.
We're focusing on what we've talked about on autonomous systems. And we sort of see it as the mother of all AI projects. So autonomy is something that's incredibly exciting for us. We'll see where it takes us.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if someday we got to the point where there were robots every place, they were running farms, they were running Apple, they were running Berkshire Hathaway, and all you had to do was one person could punch a button at the start of every morning, and all the goods and services that we're getting now would be turned out by robots.
It is seeping into our lives in all sorts of ways that we just don't notice. We're just getting better and better at it, and we're seeing that happen in every aspect of our lives, from medicine to transportation to how electricity is distributed. And it promises to create a vastly more productive and efficient economy. And if properly harnessed, can generate enormous prosperity for people, opportunity for people, can cure diseases that we haven't seen before, can make us safer because it eliminates inherent human error in a lot of work.
Artificial intelligence is going to be extremely helpful, and the risk that it gets super smart, that's way out in the future and probably worth talking about. But now what we're seeing is that for the first time, computers can see as well as humans. That's pretty incredible.
NHTSA did a study on Tesla's Autopilot version 1, which is relatively primitive, and found that it was a 45% reduction in highway accidents. And that's despite Autopilot 1 being just version 1. Version 2, I think, will be at least 2 or 3 times better. That's the current version that's running right now. So the rate of improvement is really dramatic. We have to figure out some way to ensure that the advent of digital superintelligence is one which is symbiotic with humanity.
AI is probably the most important thing humanity has ever worked on. Now, I think of it as something more profound than electricity or fire. And anytime you work with technology, You need to learn to harness the benefits and while minimizing the downsides. Stepping back, when you think about, a lot of problems in the world, today it's because we typically have a constraint on resources. AI, for the first time, I think, over time, offers a different construct. Things which are constrained and look like a zero-sum game today may not be so in the future. Take education, for example. It's really difficult to educate people in a cost-effective way. AI may fundamentally change that equation. It may make it possible for us to have clean, cheap, renewable energy for the future. So I think a lot of things will play out in more positive ways than people think.
I think probably by end of next year, self-driving will encompass essentially all modes of driving and be at least 100 to 200% safer than a person by the end of next year. We're talking maybe 18 months from now.
The idea that there's going to be a general AI overlord that subjugates us or kills us all, I think is not something to worry about. I think that is overhyped. First of all, we don't know, we're nowhere close to knowing how to build a general AI, something that could set its own objectives. But second of all, I think it's unlikely that such a thing's first instincts would be to exterminate us. So I'm optimistic about that one, and certainly don't think we need to worry about it today.
First and foremost, AI systems are already primed to take over thousands, if not millions of jobs. Any job that consists of a human taking down information from other humans and inputting it into a system is likely to go obsolete. So cashiers, receptionists, telemarketers, and bank tellers are all on their way out. As self-driving cars, self-operating drones, and other conveyors from A to B get more complex, we'll also lose jobs like truck drivers, postal workers, courier services, even pizza delivery. Factories are also becoming fully automated, so are car washes and movie theaters. It'll also open up new jobs for the next generation, writing software, repairing and maintaining robots, and developing new and better systems. Firefighting, mining, deep-sea oil drilling, construction, and other careers with high mortality rates will be replaced by machines that can't get sick or hurt, with machines taking over the more dull and hazardous jobs. As we develop better AI, we're discovering that it can not just replace human labor, but also think in ways that humans can't. Algorithms that can monitor and process massive amounts of information and make conclusions based on patterns in that data are poised to change every avenue of society. Starting from something small, like optimizing traffic patterns over time to figure out the best routes to take or how to fix roads and rebuild highways, all the way to something much more serious, like monitoring epidemics and disease and stopping them before they spread. Just a few tech monopolies control the latest breakthroughs in data collecting, processing, and analyzing. And while we may hope that AI will help advance our society, it may just end up working to benefit the tech industry and only those who can afford to take advantage of cheaper, smarter human replacements.
According to NASA, Sanskrit is the only unambiguous language in the world, meaning that it is not open to more than one interpretation of something. World's oldest texts, Vedas, are written in Sanskrit. In a report given by a NASA scientist, it is said that USA is creating the 6th and 7th generation computers based on Sanskrit language. Research also says that Sanskrit is very beneficial in the functioning of brain.
There is no official statement by NASA and their approach for artificial intelligence, which is clearly inclined towards natural languages, especially Sanskrit. However, NASA and Sanskrit relation is not new. It all began in 1985 when a NASA associate scientist published a research paper in the spring issue of Artificial Intelligence magazine, Volume 6, Number 1. The name of the scientist was Rick Briggs, who submitted his research entitled as Vedic Science Knowledge Representation in Sanskrit and Artificial Intelligence.
The official idea and definition of AI was first coined by J. McCartney in 1955 at the Dartmouth Conference. Of course, there was plenty of research work done on AI by others such as Alan Turing before this, but what they were working on was an undefined field before 1955. Okay, so here's what McCarthy proposed. Quote, "Every aspect of learning, or any other feature of intelligence, can in principle be so precisely described that a machine can be made to simulate it. An attempt will be made to find out how to make machines use language, form abstractions and concepts, solve kinds of problems now reserved for humans, and improve themselves." Translation. In essence, AI is a machine with the ability to solve problems that are usually done by us humans with our natural intelligence.
The goal for artificial intelligence is to get computers understand the natural language, meaning the language that are being used at present, like Lisp and some other languages for machine learning. Instead of those languages, any natural language like English, Hindi or Sanskrit can be tried for machine learning purposes.
According to research, Sanskrit is considered as one of the best suitable language for computers.
The research is still on and nothing has been finalized yet. We are making this video because Sanskrit has all probabilities to be selected as one of the machine learning language in the near future. We understand that the demand for Sanskrit knowledge is on the rise all over the world. Is it because the world wants Sanskrit knowledge to be applied to various disciplines in the near future?